$900,000 in Fairfield County. What that number gets you is very different depending on which town you're in. And most buyers don't even realize how big the difference is until they fall in love with the wrong house in the wrong town. I'm Cheryl Morrison with Keller Williams in Stamford, and today I want to walk you through exactly what $900,000 buys you across 3 of the most popular towns in Fairfield County: Stamford, Norwalk, and Wilton. I'm going to give you the real numbers, real neighborhoods, and the honest trade-offs that most agents won't spell out for you. Let's start with Stamford. At $900,000 in Stamford, you're typically looking at a well-maintained colonial or a new townhome in a desirable neighborhood like Newfield, Springdale, or North Stamford. You're getting somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 square feet, good yard, access to the city's amenities, restaurants, the train, and waterfront. Stamford is a growing city, which many buyers like, especially buyers coming from New York who want to maintain some of that urban energy while getting more space. Now let's talk Norwalk. Norwalk is a market that a lot of buyers overlook, and I think that's a mistake. At $900,000, you can find yourself in some genuinely beautiful parts of Norwalk. Brookside, which is close to Wilton, has a small village field, or Silvermine area, which is quieter and more wooded. You're often getting more house for the money than you would in Stamford. What's important to understand about Norwalk is that it's a varied market. Price points, lot sizes, and proximity to water or train access can shift significantly from one neighborhood to the next. So if you're looking in Norwalk, neighborhood context matters. You need someone who understands which areas have seen consistent appreciation, what's driving those values, and how to find the right fit for your specific needs. And then there's Wilton. Wilton is a completely different lifestyle. It's one of the top-rated school districts in Connecticut, ranked number 4 in the state, with an A+ overall grade according to the Niche's 2026 ranking. Wilton High School is ranked number 5 in Connecticut by U.S. News and World Report. For families, that's a major draw. At $900,000 in Wilton, you're typically looking at a 3 to 4 bedroom colonial on an acre or more. You're getting space, privacy, and excellent schools. What you're giving up is walkability and easy train access. Wilton is a car town. If you work in New York and you're commuting, you're driving to the Merritt Parkway or to Cannondale Station, which runs on the Danbury branch with limited direct services to Grand Central. That's not a deal breaker for everyone. For a lot of families, the schools and the space are worth it, but it's a real trade-off, and you need to go into it with your eyes open. Before I show a buyer a single home, I ask them one question: what does your ideal Tuesday look like? Not your ideal weekend, your ideal Tuesday, because that tells me everything. If your ideal Tuesday involves walking to the coffee shop, taking the train to the city, or having dinner at a restaurant you can walk to, that's a Stamford buyer. If your ideal Tuesday involves dropping the kids off at school, working from home in a quiet house, or going for a run in the wooded trails, that's a Wilton buyer. Most buyers come to me with a list of features: 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage, good schools. And those things matter, but the town you choose shapes your entire daily life. Getting that right is more important than any individual feature on a list. I want to spend a minute talking about the buyers who are relocating from New York, because that's a significant part of the Fairfield County market right now. If you're coming from Manhattan or Brooklyn, the financial math of this move is genuinely compelling. You're often selling or leaving a rental that costs you about $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, or you're buying a home that even at $900,000 gives you a mortgage payment that's comparable or lower, and you're building equity instead of paying someone else's mortgage. Here's the financial case for relocating from New York to Fairfield County, and I want to be honest about both sides. The upside: you're getting significantly more space for your money. You're in one of the best school systems in the country, and you're still within commuting distance of the city. Express trains from Stamford to Grand Central run about an hour during peak hours. From Norwalk, you're looking at roughly an hour to an hour and a half. That's manageable for a lot of people, especially if they're only going into the city maybe 2 or 3 days a week. The thing to watch out for: property taxes in Connecticut are real. On a $900,000 home in Stamford, Norwalk, or Wilton specifically, you're typically looking at anywhere from $11,000 to $19,000 a year. And that number needs to be in your monthly budget before you fall in love with the house. So here's the bottom line. If you're a buyer with $900,000 to spend in Fairfield County, you genuinely have good options across multiple towns. The right choice depends on your lifestyle, your commute, your family situation, and your financial picture. What I'd encourage you to do is not start with the house, start with the town. Figure out where you want to live first, then find the best house in that town within your budget. If you'd like to have a conversation about your specific situation, what you're looking for, what towns might be the right fit, and what the market looks like right now, reach out to me through the link in the description. I'm happy to spend 30 minutes walking through the numbers with you, no strings attached. Subscribe for more Fairfield County market content, and I'll see you in the next video.